I don't know what we want to do as far as an agenda, but I know that I can give an update on the 2030 stuff. I know. So should I just do that?
So, I mean, we can, like, informally follow the agenda, we just can't vote on anything, right?
Correct.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the agenda is as
So we can't do the minutes.
no minutes, no
There's
public comment.
And then, yeah.
Vice chair updates. All right. So the update that I have would be the 2030 commission update. And so we met. I can give you a date. We met on November 21st. And we met. It was at 4:00 in the afternoon. It was a virtual meeting, and we met with SLR and the rest of the 2030 commission. And it was to discuss the that lot SIP application that we're putting forward to the state. And SLR presented their proposal and explained to us how it's going to work. I don't know if you guys have seen over the last, 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen them out. SLR has had guys on the corner of Amity and Litchfield, Bradley and Amity, and down on Lucy and Amity. There have been, surveying cameras and guys in SLR jackets out there.
Okay,
So
I haven't seen that.
they're out there surveying, they're taking traffic counts and trying to get the patterns so that they can they need to put a traffic count together for the proposal. So they want to really get an accurate one based on what's going on right now with the traffic. And the idea is that they put all this stuff together, all the work that 2030 did in over the last year with all those community meetings and all that stuff, allowed us to cut that application shorter than it should have been because we had a lot of the things on the application done already. So once they get this traffic count done and the surveying of the road, they can put the stuff together and submit it to the state DCP so we can try to get the grant money. And it looks like, based on what they're telling us, we're in a good position. We're ahead of the game. We've put the time and the effort in ahead of time so that when we put in the application, it's going to be completely filled out, and there shouldn't be any bounce back. So we'll see. I mean, it looks good.
Wow. It seems like it's been taking a long time, and then you're saying we're ahead of things. So.
Well, based on when the grant came in was announced, right?
Yeah.
It's taken a long time because I don't think when 2030 got started, I don't know that there was any direction towards this grant application stuff at the beginning.
Oh, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just, I mean, I understand things take time, but it sounds like we're in good shape, which is a good thing.
Tony was on the call too. It seemed based on what they were saying that we were really well positioned.
Yeah, that you had done a lot of groundwork in advance. And something of the roads that were involved with the grant application was Amity Road, Bradley Road, and Lucy Street. And Lucy Road, I'm sorry, Lucy Street.
Lucy Street,
Yeah. And also there was discussion of to include in the application a traffic light at Bradley Road. So that was discussed during that meeting.
Okay, and
then timing was the survey to take place, I believe they said December, January, the application, then they'll have all their information together, just begin the application, putting it together. And that would be February into March, and then March being the time frame for actually being able to submit the application.
Okay.
So I know in the minutes that we had from November, there was a note about submitting our minutes to the Board of Selectmen for an approval to proceed. Did that happen? I'm assuming it did because I've seen the guys out on the street.
Yeah, because I spoke with Tony
Okay.
today, and it sounded like I just wanted to confirm because I saw the surveyors too, and I said, was that SLR? And he said, well, they're supposed to be starting in December and January.
Their letters are right on the back of their vests. So.
And Chris was in that meeting in November.
Chris Dickerson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's Chris
Yeah,
and Susan Jacobs and
Okay,
me and
good.
Terry Schatz and a couple.
So was it approval with the Board of Selectmen to go for the grant or to start surveying and?
It was a notice to proceed is what they need.
I think the notice-
SLR to proceed.
Because we're using previous grant monies to
Yeah.
pay SLR to move forward with this process. So I think we needed the okay from the selectmen to use that money to do so.
But was it for this specific piece, meaning the sidewalks and the traffic signals?
It's for the lot SIP grant, and that it's going to be done in pieces. I think we talked about it last meeting.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be proposing them as traffic signals and signage, sidewalks and whatever. You know, it's going to be sort of a I don't know how you want to call it, but it's going to be in chunks. But yeah, the meeting was to proceed with going forward with all that stuff.
Going forward with the application process. So, yeah, so there's, I suspect phases. So moving forward, giving SLR permission to help the town prepare the grant. That was what that part
So this was in the last board meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where all that sits. So
And
that's
you
it.
all had met since, so this was November, but it's been a few meetings, right? Since-
That was November 21st. We haven't met since then.
Well, no, I mean before that.
Oh, there were many meetings before that. What do you mean?
Well, I mean in between, like, so when Susan and Chris were here in May, right? And they were doing a tour of the committees and commissions at that time,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Did you all meet after that?
Oh, yeah.
Or since? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've met almost every month. There may have been 1 month where we didn't meet, but yeah, it's been sort of a gradual process, and SLR has been on most of the meetings, and it's sort of just trying to move the ball down the court. And Tony Genovese has been on the meetings, and he's sort of guided us on what we can do and how we can proceed with getting this grant, filled out. And in lieu of having a town planner,
Yeah.
SLR is sort of filling that role in that regard with all of our input, and hopefully we'll get the green light after the application's submitted. But, so, I guess any other questions on the 2030 stuff?
I don't have any more questions on that.
And if anyone was interested, I just want to point this out too. If anyone was interested in looking at that meeting, if you go to the website and pull the minutes, there's a link to the video right
Oh,
there.
cool.
So if you
Okay.
wanted to
Yeah.
check it out and just listen to the proposal,
Okay.
you can certainly do that.
I don't know if there's any other updates about the 2030, but if I move down the agenda, the commercial real estate update, I don't think there's anything new since the last time we met. I know Regus Business Solutions is looking for a place to open up like a small business headquarters in this area. I'm not sure where a good spot for something like that would be, but Regus does like the you can go and rent a desk, and they have all the office equipment. They have someone who answers the phone for you. They have fax machines and printers and all that, and Wi-Fi, and you basically pay a rent, and you walk into basically plug and play sort of system.
It's very nice. The one
Yeah.
in New Haven's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, so
But didn't you say that something like that just opened in the old bank building?
there's it's not that, but the guys, the folks that bought the TD Bank building, they, on their second floor, they've been looking to lease out small offices.
Okay. So
It's not really that all.
doesn't offer any
encompassing.
amenities. It's
Right.
just small offices.
And Wi-Fi is included and your utilities are included, but there's no like printer or
Right.
that kind of stuff. But
With
we gotta
Regis,
call-
they share a common receptionist, and
Yeah.
and there's a conference room that everybody can reserve.
I think there's like levels of packages. You can
Right.
like have an automated person to answer your phone and so on and
So
so
it's
forth.
like a co-working space,
Yeah.
similar to like the Grove in New Haven or something like that.
Exactly.
Well, that's not there
May it
anymore.
rest
Very
in
similar.
peace.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the original in,
Yeah, like known co-working is still down in New Haven, similar to that.
well, that's
And
interesting. Is there any buildings that, spaces that would work for
the
them?
only building I know that's got like full floor vacancies is 1764, which is the next to where my office is. I don't know if they'd be interested in that. You know, it entails a lot of traffic. You know, because you're gonna have small business owner. You know, you're gonna have little offices. So typically you'd have lots of people coming in and out every day, going into their small little office suite. So I don't know if it's for them. I actually have a call into them, but I don't know if it.
Is there an appetite for office space? Is it like ticking back up post COVID?
I think the
what are you
appetite
seeing?
is for small stuff. Like people
Okay.
just are tired of being in their houses.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that the big corporations are saying, you know, come. We want to go. What?
No, work from home is not all it was cracked up to be.
You know, it's
Oh,
you know, it seems nice for a while, and
I
then
mean, I'm not. It's not my personal situation.
you're in
I'm
the
just speaking
refrigerator all the
globally.
time, and the TV's on, and you know the cat's at your whatever. You know, there's just stuff being at home. So, but big corporations don't want to outlay money for a big
Right.
12,000 square foot, you know, footprint.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they'll say, you want to get out of your house, we'll give you $600 a month. Go find a small office that you want to rent, and we'll, you know,
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
subsidize that.
I mean, the hybrid's the most balanced approach. So,
But I think a lot of companies are now saying, all right, we'll give you an allowance if you want to get out of your house.
gotcha.
Go out and find a spot, and we'll pay for it.
Okay.
Other than that, there's not a lot.
Did that pharmacy open?
They're building the drive-through. I don't know if you've been down there. You see the bump out that they actually have coming out of the side of the building. So like on the West Rock side of 245
Okay.
Harmony,
Yeah.
where you come around that, you can drive around the back of the building.
Mhm.
The end cap there, they built another little room,
Okay.
and that's going to be their drive-through for the pharmacy. And they're waiting for the bulletproof glass to be shipped in because you need that for the teller
Okay.
glass. But yeah, I mean they're in there. They're designing. They're should be good.
Mm.
It should be great.
Okay.
And it'll be a nice. I think it'll be a nice little addition down there. And it looks like we're getting very close with this eye doctor that's going to sign for down there, which is going to be like it's going to be a eye practice, and it's going to be adult and children, and they're also going to be they're going to sell glassware,
Oh.
eye glassware as well.
Okay.
So it'd be nice. I think it'd be a good fit for down there, and you're going to have a population that can actually utilize it. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is sort of out there. I haven't heard much more about New England Brewery or any of that stuff. I mean, I've talked to Mika a few times. Mika's been out and about and making a lot of phone calls and visiting offices and stuff. And
Good.
but I haven't heard anything new about what's going on with that. Grimaldi's is still available. That end cap at. And there's some lab space available at 4 Research, which is the old Bear building. I don't know, there's not a lot else
Okay.
that I'm aware of. I don't know if you guys have anything.
I haven't really been out and about like
I haven't noticed anything new that jumped out at me. There was some talk about the UPS store. That there was a package store was going to go in there possibly.
Oh, really?
I thought we were a
Package meaning like
liquor store.
liquor store?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that.
I
No,
thought we
I didn't hear that either.
talked about that at one. Anyway.
Are all those buildings on Lunar Drive and Research Drive, are all those pretty much fully occupied?
So the one where the way back, I forget which ones. I think it's Lunar. Where's the Smilo Cancer building? That
That's
building's
Research,
for
I
sale.
think,
That's
Research
Research.
Drive,
That building's for sale.
Okay.
But Yale's got a lease there. I don't think any of those are really vacant. The only one's got vacancies that I'm aware of is the 4 Research building. That's the one that the cure for I forget the name of the company, but
Cure rare disease or something.
yeah. He bought that building and he's doing his work out of there, but they have space available in there. I don't think there's much available back there at all, which is a good thing. But
Yeah.
All the 415
Did they get any
research, 11
flooding?
research.
Did they get any flooding down there or anywhere with the rain on Monday?
That retaining pond's pretty big by in the Toll Brothers development, but
Right.
I don't think it flooded. I don't think anything overflowed.
That's good.
I mean, as a property manager, we had water all over the place this week. It's been rough, but I didn't hear anything about down there. Did you hear anything about the manhole covers overflowing or anything down by the?
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good.
It's
I mean,
really good.
because whatever they did must have fixed the problem, because for years
It was,
There was
a
it
wood
was
flood.
it was a rough, we had to bring our daughter up to Bethany. That was a rough ride on Monday morning.
I bet.
Even with delayed opening, like,
yeah, there's debris everywhere.
it was debris everywhere. Major roads were closed. Like, you had to get creative
Yeah.
to get out there.
I'm surprised more
We had-
trees didn't come down with the way the ground is so soft.
We had power lines down in front of my house, my neighbor's house. They were on fire, and UI had probably a dozen trucks in front of our house from the wee hours into the evening.
You lost power.
Yeah. Yep. So, my observation was that they've been doing the tree work for the past couple of years, right, to try to mitigate these
Oh, yeah.
problems. However, it still hasn't made up for the decades that they didn't do any preventative maintenance. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. But
We live in the woods.
yeah.
I don't have a lot else. I don't know if anybody has any comments. Cleo's last meeting, and I'm tell you guys, this is my last meeting for now as well. Been 9 years. I've been on the commission. Just had to take a break for a while, so I'm gonna stay on 2030, and I'd like to try to liaise between the two if I can. I'd like to try to come to some meetings to update,
Okay.
but I just need to take a break for a little bit. So.
And then there were 3.
No, I'm available to help on projects.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nika's called me a number of times, and like we've talked a lot. Like, I'm very happy to help. It's just the evenings and stuff right now. I'm just trying to gather a little something.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I'm stretched thin. I have minimal capacity, so I totally get it.
But,
I think Jeremy, the outreach to potential new businesses, right? Like, that's where, I don't know how, I'm assuming you could help us with some of that, right? Like, the commercial real estate brokers are the ones that would bring some of the retail businesses. I mean, most of 2030 is like, that's a retail, for the most part, a retail initiative, right?
well, the 2030 commission, I think, is more of not even. It's not. I think that it's like a way up high picture of everything, and saying what can we do to enhance the infrastructure of that area,
Right.
so that EDC and the town and whomever else has the tools to be able to attract businesses down there. Like, so how can we change zoning? How can we make signage better? How can we make the traffic flow better? How can we slow down the traffic? How can we create setbacks? And it's that. So, like, I think that, and Tony, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the whole thing, and I remember Susan saying it a million times, we got to step back and take a look from way up above, because it's not about saying, oh, we need a Trader Joe's here. Let's find a spot to put them in, and let's, that's the task for 2030. I think is to set it up so that those things could happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But the zoning's not right in the business district right now to have mixed use and all these different things. So it's a matter of having this SLR group come in and look at everything and figure out how we can make it so the town can enhance that area so that we can do that stuff. So I think that when you come back to retail, we have to, I think for EDC and whomever, we have to identify areas of the downtown or the businesses where do you think something could go? Where do you think something could go? And then we come to a table and say, all right, what's inhibiting something from going there? And then look at it and say, all right, well, would a Trader Joe's go there? And what would be why wouldn't they? Is there enough traffic? Is there enough? Most of it is foot traffic for stores like that. You look at it and you try to get an idea, and then you try to talk to the property owner and see what you need to do. There's like a whole group of, I think there's a whole, a set of tasks that have to be followed. But if areas were identified, I think we could try. I think there needs to be like a plan. Like if you.
I agree with that, but I think one of the challenging pieces of that is just the existing, landscape that we have is somewhat
Right.
limited. Just the way the layout of our town is. So
But I think there needs to be some vision for.
Oh yeah,
what-
absolutely. Yeah.
What are we looking at, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if it's, is it office? Is it retail? Is it, what do we see? Well, I mean, you could have mixed use and retail, right?
Right,
Like,
of course.
but you have to have that understanding before you can start to ask those questions, right?
Right.
So that's, what are we envisioning, right? And we had, my takeaway in watching the consultants over the last year or so, right, was that it was primarily about retail and mixed use residential down in that area, right? So that's where you have to start to look at, all right, well, what fills in what could be that space, right?
See, it's funny because, and I could see, the way that just being at the meetings and listening to them specifically and going on the field trip and all this other stuff that we did, it was more about place making and places that you could figure out how you can make the business district travelable by foot. And then filling it in from that point. So where could you have a place where people could actually take a baby carriage or your dog out for a walk down there and walk around and then find a park bench so you could sit down, where there may be some place where if you're a grandparent, you could take your dog and your grandkids and they can go play chess in a big oversized chessboard on the corner of the intersection of Amity and Litchfield or whatever it may be. And then how do you fill in the business from there? Once you have a place where people actually feel comfortable to walk, then you figure out where they're going to walk to, sort of. I don't know if...
Or should the businesses attract and enhance the place that you're making? Right? Like, you'd have to have that component.
Correct.
Like, why would I go down there? Right?
It's
Right.
going to be a
but-
destination location. People are going there, I think, for a reason. So you go down maybe to Chapel Street in New Haven, you park, you want to shop, you go into all these little shops, you can grab a bite to eat. It's a destination because you're intending to spend the afternoon there.
So, like, I think this Toll Brothers project. So let's go back. Like, if a Trader Joe's was like, oh, we want to be at Woodbridge, Trader Joe's is going to identify a plot of land that's X by X square foot, and they're going to say, all right, we want to be there. What's the zoning and whatever? Toll Brothers came in and said, we want to build a community down here, and with that community these people need to walk somewhere. So by them putting that community down there, it forced the hand of the sidewalks. Something that if you just a retailer went down there, like, they're not going to force the hand of having the town's not going to be like, oh, you want to put a CVS here, you got to build sidewalks. But a community of 150 people or whatever it may be, now you have connecting sidewalks, and now those people are going to want somewhere to go. So now you have something to sort of build these ideas off of. So now
it's creating some demand.
right, where's that sidewalk? Where can that sidewalk go next? It's sort of the way I look at it. like working the sidewalk leads so that there can be a really cool business there that people want to get there on the sidewalk. I've always thought that sidewalks are sort of like the map to making something happen down there. If you can't walk, like you can't. I mean, it's great. You go to dinner and park your car, but you're not going anywhere afterwards. So by creating this mapping of sidewalks, you can
Yeah.
create a walkable downtown. So like I think if I don't know the answer, but I think if EDC had meetings and we sort of like had brainstorming meetings, like what kind of businesses would we want to see down in that area? And you make a list, and like just we did that SWOT map we did years ago. You check mark and say this business would be great for X Y Z, and you take the business that has the most check marks and say, all right, how can we try to work to get this kind of business into our town? And then we try to put a proposal together, and then I think it's going to be a process, but
Yeah.
then you put out then you look for that kind of business that's out there, a corporation that's out there, and we can go talk to them. And I just don't know that you're going to get a retailer and get them to come here and then build all around them. I think you got to build all around and then attract them to be here. And I think that Toll Brothers, that's the honeypot, really. I mean, that's what's going to attract somebody. You now have an active community in the business district that can actually walk to the businesses. Before, we all have to drive down there to. I mean, there's obviously a community down the flats, but now you've got another. You almost doubled the volume of the people that live down there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers.
Yeah.
But
So speaking of, having, people, residents, and potential, business patrons. So you had spoken to Dale Krupp recently, right? And then so Kathy emailed me and she said that she knows him. I don't know him, but and she said that he was going to try to touch base with us in the new year. So are you?
Yeah.
Did he say anything to you about
yeah,
that?
yeah, he
Okay.
definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's more than happy to do that.
Okay.
And I think with someone like Dale, you give him a goal, you give him a task that you want to achieve, and he'll sort of herd the cats. And
Okay.
sort of, Dale knows his stuff. Chloe, were you on the call with?
I wasn't.
You weren't on the call, but you were on the EDC meeting.
Yeah. But we have that handout that says
Yeah.
all the different things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things. SLR is sort of taking the role of the application, the grant application stuff, but I think we have a team of people where the town doesn't really have to pay a lot of money for, that are going to be doing high-level stuff.
Okay.
Utilize it all. But Dale will respond right away, so,
Okay.
and again, like, I'm not going anywhere. So,
No, I mean,
Right,
so
yeah.
I think the cool thing is you coming here on a Thursday once a month, that probably isn't the best use of your time. However, the best use of your time is what you've just been telling us, your experience in your day-to-day job, and helping us make connections and network, and that's the
Right.
value.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And Dale, do you know Dale? I mean,
I met him, yeah.
yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, he's really, he wants to do this stuff. He's a handy guy, so he's like local to our community. And
Okay.
I think he'd be a value. It's just a matter of, sort of tasking him with something that really makes sense, that it can be tangible, that we can accomplish.
Okay. All right. So I'll try to connect the
And
dots with that.
how is it that he's no cost? Like, how does that?
I don't remember what the whole, is it, I don't remember. Cleo, do you remember, did they have a grant from the state?
Oh.
With Dale,
Yeah.
it's free.
Yeah, but why is it free?
It's just a
goodness
service that
of
they're
his heart.
providing now.
But it's Rex, right?
Yeah,
It's Rex Development.
Oh, yeah,
So it's
Rex
through
Development.
Rex.
yeah.
Okay, so we pay some dues to Rex, and
We pay dues to Rex, I
Yeah.
believe.
okay.
The town, yeah.
But we've done, as much as it seems like, we've been banging our heads against the wall for many years, the stuff that we've done actually qualifies us for a lot of things when you're looking for grant money and for aid and all that stuff. You've gone through the
Okay,
emotions.
that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, it's good. When SLR said, all those, and all the community meetings and all that stuff we did helped get points from Scrog and all this other. I mean, it's all been helpful as far as how the town looks as far as.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't considered that, but yeah.
But not much else
Okay.
other than saying Happy Holidays and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Cleo, any thoughts? Your way out.
Thanks, gang. No, it's
I'm looking forward to future changes down in the business district.
Yeah, I think throughout the town. I think Mika's been all guns ablaze. He's been making a lot of phone calls and been all over the place. So it's been, I think the town's in good hands.
Yeah, I'm pretty
As it has
optimistic.
been, so. Okay. Do we have to make a motion to adjourn since we don't have a quorum?
I don't think so.
you can if it'll make you feel good.